Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Boakai, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday Night Debate on Focus on Liberia. My name is Dennis Jar, and we're broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In tonight's debate, we're going to be looking at the first week of the Boakai-led administration. That is, how did Joseph Newman Boakai do in his first week? Did he do bad, good, or is just so-so? We're going to be looking at that. Let me welcome Ms. Glendy Jean Juniors of G Talk. Welcome, Glendy.
Hello, Dennis. It's good to be here.
Great. Let me also welcome the unapologetic sedition, Mr. Jerome Gilman. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Also in the debate is Father Elijah Washington. Brethren, pray for us. How are you, sir?
Pretty good, Dennis. Thanks for having me on the show. It's an honor, and greetings to all our people out there.
Let me welcome Madam Welly Wilson Alice Moba. Welcome, Madam Moba.
Thank you, Dennis. It's always a pleasure being here.
Let me also invite to the debate Elston Legend Wise. The legend. Welcome, sir.
My greatest pleasure.
Also in the house is our former TLA member, Mr. James Nanlasa. Welcome, Mr. Lassa.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. Cool to be back.
Definitely the last but not the least is Mr. J. Victor Nambwe, member of the United People's Party, but who spent a considerable time with the CPP. Welcome.
Hey, happy Friday to all, and it's good to be back.
We want to say happy Friday to all our viewers across the globe. This is Friday, and it's time for Friday Night Debate. And President Boakai has been in office for 1 week now. That's one work week, Monday to Friday. And we will be looking at the first week So generally, my first question to you is, when Mr. Boakai was coming to power, what were your expectations? I want you to list for me some things before we even get into debate. What were the things you were expecting? That's my first question. Let me start with Mr. Lassa.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. To tell you the truth, my primary expectation of the GMB administration, I always saw him as the only guarantee, the only guarantor that was there to accomplish the goal, the aspiration of the Liberian people, which was to kick out that so much undesirable government. That was a primary reason I was so much for him. Yes, I would expect him to do other things, but that was a key, and that was delivered. And that is a remarkable achievement for that country.
So, James, for the first week, what were you expecting Mr. Boakai to do?
Even long before the first week, I had expected that there would be an outline of faces and names of those who will be within the perimeters of consideration for positions, so that they can be public teasing, so that public views can be solicited.
James, this is debate night. For the first week, you were expecting teasing. True or false?
For the first week, I had expected that much of the nominations, much more would have been done, much more. Probably by now, we should be about 34%. As it stands, I think it's pretty much around 2%.
We'll get to that. I just want, quickly, let me go to Mr. Wisse. Mr. Wisse, what were your expectations? List for me some things that you were expecting Mr. Boakai to accomplish within the first 1 week.
Well, I expected a smooth transitioning from an inept government that ran the country for 6 years to a government that is coming, that's going to display a better in terms of governance. And I think we are on the right footing, other than the little hiccups during the inaugural program, which is part of human nature. This is not the first of its kind that has happened in time past. I saw that happen in advanced country in Europe.
We'll get to all that. I just want us to be brief on the first question. Your expectation. Just list for me.
In its entirety, the program was a success, and I'm impressed. We are on the right footing.
Thank you. Mrs. Moba, list for me some things that you were expecting to be accomplished within the first week of the Boakai administration.
Well, in the first week, I expected that President Boakai will appoint qualified Liberians that will take over the leadership of the country. I expect people that are capable of fighting corruption, because that's the primary reason that I gave him my support, that he was going to fight corruption. So I expect him to appoint people that are stainless when it comes to fighting corruption, because your record has to be clear before you can fight somebody, when it comes to corruption. So I expect him to look at people that he's appointing to make sure that his goal is achieved. I expected him within the first week to at least have 50% of those that will lead Liberia in terms of ministries and other agencies. And yeah.
Thank you. Let me go to Father Washington. What were your expectations?
I don't know what I should disappoint you, Mr. John, because I didn't have any expectation. Because the thing is that what I knew would happen is what is happening. I knew there was going to be disorder. I knew there was going to be recycling of the old politicians, political rascals who were still going to come back. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's what I see. So I don't know what I had in the expectation, because I just knew it was going to be business as usual.
Thank you. Mr. Gaiman, what were your expectations?
Well, my expectation was that Joseph Boakai was inept, he was corrupt, and that he was going to fall flat on his face. And he met all of my expectations.
We don't get there yet. We say, what were your expectations?
I just told you. I expected him to fail. I expected him to declare his asset before he came to power. All of those things he didn't do.
Mr. Glendy, what were your expectations for the first 1 week, just the first 1 week? Glendy?
So I like Father Washington. I really didn't have any expectations. This is a new government coming to power. I'm not going to have a lot of expectations. So I had none. Whatever they would have been able to accomplish was what I hoped they would be able to do. I had no expectations whatsoever in the first week. None.
So in the first week, you didn't expect him to accomplish anything whatsoever.
I mean, there are expectations, but it's not something that I would have counted on because it depends. I would have expected that he would have had a list of people. I think he's proceeding as what is expected from any government, but something that I wrote down on the paper to follow or to say this is what I expect them to have accomplished. No.
Mr. Nabi.
Yeah,
What were
you
your
know,
expectations?
I'm already feeling sorry for my sister because
No. What your
she
expectations?
is lowering the
I don't
bar
even
so
understand why
much.
he would not even answer a question for
She
himself.
is
But he
lowering
just
the
focus
for
bar.
yourself.
She has to lower the bar so much just to
It's
accommodate. Let me tell you
opinion.
this.
It's my opinion, brother.
Hold on,
Let me tell you
Victor,
this.
please.
I tell you this.
Victor,
Yes. You know,
what were your expectations of the Boakai
people
government
always
within the
say,
first week?
people always tell us don't use the U.S. as an analogy to compare anything to Liberia. But I tell you this, I expected this government to have been our no Obama drama, right? Cut all the drama in government, restore respectability to governance. I don't think this is what I've seen so far. All I have seen
So
is
within the
drama.
first week, what did you expect him to accomplish?
I just said that. I expected him to restore confidence in governance. I expected him to restore respectability to governance. This is not what I'm seeing. All I'm seeing is allegations after allegations. You took money. You took the name off the list. So much drama. I didn't expect this.
So based on your expectation, has President Boakai met expectation, exceeded expectation, or has he fallen below expectation?
I think he has fallen flat below my expectation.
Glendy? Exceeded, met, or fallen, but you have no expectation, so I don't know. But so has he met your expectation?
Say that again.
Has President Boakai met your expectation for the first one?
And I'll say again, since I had no expectations, what they've done, I don't think they've done anything that we can really look and say they've done great, because there are so many issues that have come up. So I'm gonna be fair and say I think they've performed if not poorly, but fairly in the first week.
About your expectation. What have they met your expectation? So nothing, right?
No, nothing.
Let me go to Legend. We said, based on your expectation, has he met, exceeded, or fallen short?
I think he's just right there, and this is why I wanted to interject to my brother, to my southeastern brother Victor Nangbe. Mr. Nangbe, if you want a government that's going to tread cautiously, I don't think you want a president that is coming in to be so hasty in appointing people, and then when he appoint the wrong people in the wrong places, and then you all will be the same people. I think he's trying to tread very cautiously so he can get it right. And I think we are on the right trajectory. There are people who are saying by now we should have this high number of people already appointed. But don't forget, I don't remember even the very formidable Ellen Johnson Sirleaf just appointing so many people in the first week. I think she selected her top officials very cautiously, and she was not hasty in doing so. So I think Ambassador Boakai, now President Boakai, is doing extremely well. He's getting there, and we will get there.
Has he met your expectation or exceeded your expectation?
He has met my expectation relative to what he has done with the short time that we've gone in this.
So we're talking 1 week. I'm talking within 1 week. Has he met your 1 week expectation?
Relative to the time, he is doing perfectly fine. He has met my expectation.
Relative to which time? You muted yourself.
He's muted.
Oh, sorry. Relative to 1 week, relative to the 1 week, he's on course.
Great. He met your expectation. Mr. Lasta, has he
Dennis, you gotta let me respond to him, Dennis.
I have the right to not let you.
Right, and I have the right to defend myself.
Go ahead and defend yourself.
And let me just remind my brother, my southeastern brother, my point of departure is not necessarily the rapidity with which they are constituting the government. It's the haphazard manner in which they are doing any and everything, from the inauguration to the appointments to everything. I am really surprised. I am baffled and disappointed in this group, because this is supposed to be the level-headed group. This is supposed to be the experience, the grown-ups in this group. And they're acting like little kids. They're fighting over appointments. They can't account for anything. I mean, in less than a week, we've had so many scandals that we probably had in all of we have time.
Thank you. We'll come to that so that you can
Relatively.
go back and forth. Let me get through my met expectation. Let me go to Mr. Lassa.
Yeah, Dennis. So
I think
what?
men exceeded or fallen short.
Yeah, good. So you had asked me earlier. To tell you the truth, I expected for much more focus to be placed on the justice, the rule of law aspect of governance in the country. The appointment of justice minister, police director, immigration, LDA. I think he's done pretty well with that, except for the justice minister. And I think there's also good reason why we should also understand why he picked. I was expecting a human rights kind of criminal lawyer appointment in the somebody with a profile who has been in the area of human rights, because Liberia has suffered a lot of abuses from human rights violation. So that is a little disappointing, but it's really okay. Now, because we know Cooper Kurai from Nima, we know what Nima did. He got a police director. I really like that. The LDA director, that is good. National Security Advisor, that is great. He has really, and all of the appointments to me are good. They are midway. They are young people. They are technocrats and everything, except for the Deputy Minister of Finance. That is a serious issue. I think we'll have to cause noise. Now, if there is any complaint of delay or anything that may look or haphazardly done, I think that may be coming from speculation or from those who just want to be cynical in the process, because pretty much the government is going to be a government of...
Which deputy minister are you talking about?
Minister of Finance for budget and finance and development planning. Good.
Yeah, that lady
Tanya Branson. Yeah, that is a serious one. We will have to mount pressure to get her rejected. Anyway, that's the only disappointment. Other than that,
so to you, for the first week, has he met your expectation?
Well, he hasn't appointed the ombudsman for the country yet. That would be a serious.
So he has fallen below your expectation.
I would say just okay. He's doing okay with me. He's doing okay.
Given
that it's a government of national unity, it's not just him. So he has to listen. He has to listen to those the different parties and interests that had him elected.
No, but you had an expectation, right? You are again. So has he met your expectation?
I say it's okay. I will give him a B. I really give him a
met
B.
expectation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Be confident in your answer.
Oh, but yeah, I said B, Dennis.
Oh, all right.
I just wish he had an ombudsman there, and that he would have declared his assets.
So he has not met your expectation. That's what you are saying. Because these were the things that you expected and they didn't happen.
Well, he has done some. I will give him B, and that would be.
I'm talking about. I'll give you three options: met expectation, exceeded, or fallen below.
Met expectation.
All right. I know you struggle with that, Jim, but it's okay. Father Wilson.
Well, I didn't have an expectation, but I think he has validated my assessment of the Unity Party coming into power. So that's very good for me, because before this Unity Party came into power, right on this show, I said I didn't have any. I just thought it would be business as usual. I didn't see anything fundamental that will happen. And one of the things I emphasized, even when he came to the United States and when he even went back to Liberia, I said there was a lot of disorder. They were ill-prepared. There were a lot of noise around internal wrangling. And these are things that I highlighted before they even took power. And that's everything I beginning to see. So I think that just validated what I say before they even took over. So yeah, I feel that I just knew this was going to happen, and that's happening because I said on one of these shows that even their first press conference that they had right after the elections, the way it was so disorganized, and just these are people who were ill prepared. So for me, I think it has been validated.
Thank you, Alice. Alice, are you there?
Well, since there's no middle ground, we have to either be for. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say that I want to be in it. It's kind of hard to say he has met completely or not met, and there's no middle ground. So maybe I would say he met expectation, but there are other things that are still outstanding. I must point out the asset declaration, because we had a last show that one of the things that we're counting on him to do that has not been done. And the program, I saw a lot of people really, really warm at the program. It was hot. And I can't imagine inaugural program, to be that much, people, a lot of people and so much heat. That was not really properly done. So there are a lot of things that are not still going right, but since there's no middle ground, I would say met expectation for now.
But Alice, what middle ground? You said you were expecting some things and those things didn't happen. That means he did not meet expectation. That is just clear, right?
Well, I can't say he did not meet expectation because one of the things I expected as well is the appointment. Okay, so he appointing people that for now, a lot of the people that he's appointing, nobody has raised a serious alarm on most of them, maybe one or two here and there, but majority of the people are qualified people. And so I must give it to him because these are his lieutenants that he's going to be using to fight corruption. And so when they go to confirmation, whoever knows what, they have to say it so that the government will be on the right trajectory. And so that's why I'm saying met expectation, because one of the things fighting corruption is my main reason for saying that he met expectation because of the people that he appointing.
Thank you. Anybody has anything to say? Counter, response, rebuttal, or anything? Let me start with Mr. Damon.
For me, I think we have been on this show before, and I would like to take my hat out because I told you over the years that they were using Joseph Boakai's mouth to chew the pepper, and that's what they just did. If you look at the list of appointees, let's look at
I want you to respond to what anybody said.
Yes, I'm coming to that. On this show, you play that video over and over. The number one mantra of Joseph Boakai was accountability, the rule of law. Though if anything else, and he said, before I take office, I and everyone else that comes with me will declare the asset as according to the law. Joseph Boakai came into office violating the law. He has not declared his assets. So, is he the man to hold anybody accountable for the man who makes his own promises and breaks it before he gets to power? So, yes, Joseph Boakai has failed. He has not met his own expectations. So if he can meet his own expectation, how can he meet my expectation? You played the tape here the other day on, I think, one of those shows, either in Ghana or Nigeria. He said, I am responsible that when I come to power, I'm going to be the man who rule law and accountability. I'm going to declare my assets to everybody else.
Thank you.
Well, Dennis, I
want to go to Mr. Sherry first, and then we'll come to you. Mr. Sherry just entered. This is our colleague all the way from God's Back in Kilipo, Kanwiken, from the Waplo Institute. Mr. Sherry, how you doing? Well, first question is, what were your expectations of Mr. Boakai within the first week? Has he met those expectations, exceeded those expectations, or fallen below your expectation?
I want to begin by saying that my expectation for JNB was to be the antithesis of George Weah. And so at this time, to be bogged down in, talks of investigation, problems with inauguration, these are unforced errors. Dennis, in politics, you have, unforced errors, errors brought upon by yourself. I mean, you don't need these things. These are bad publicity. You need to be going out there now, talking about the roads that you talk about. No cars, okay, will get stuck in the mud. That's what we should be talking about this week, next week, and the weeks to come, the months to come, so that in 90 days, you achieve that. because that's what you promised the Liberian people. And so if you haven't done that yet, and you're still bogged down in talking about inauguration, anytime you're talking about inauguration and you're not talking about hospital, you're not talking about healthcare, you're not talking about education, you're not talking about roads, it's a step back. It's a failure, albeit temporary. So my hope and expectation now is that he can move on from this, because this is not a good look. My expectation, finally, is aligned with the Liberian people who voted for him to dethrone a celebrity president. This is not an easy thing to do in Africa. He has dethroned George Weah, who is a celebrity. Keep in mind, George Weah is very, very popular in Liberia and across Africa. So it was not an easy feat to defeat this man. And so the fact that, we can't even move on to the next thing on the agenda is really a big letdown.
So he has not met your expectation.
He has not met my expectation. I'm going to go ahead and say that. There's still time for him to recover. Like in a game of soccer. Dennis, I don't know if you play a little soccer, right? So if you can,
I'm a striker.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that in you.
So thank you. Maybe we still want to respond, or Jim?
Yeah, but what I'm saying real quick is that if you can
certainly
let Mohammed complete.
If you can see the goal in the first half, there's still a second half. There's still time. You have 90 minutes in the game of soccer, so you still have a lot of time to recover from these things.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dennis. This is the last. Look, I was trying to make the point that this is just 1 week, the first week of the administration, and like I said, if you look at the composition of the government so far based on the nomination, it's easy to recognize that it's mainly composed of technocrats, or just about entirely. These are people who are competent, who have the credentials and everything. So that was great, and we have to all be reminded that Dennis Day provide us 3 options: exceeded, met expectation, or fallen. It's easy to say yes, met expectation. That does not mean he's exceeded. There is that he can do. Like I said, there is the issue of the ombudsman. There's an issue of asset declaration. If one does not declare her asset in the first week, that does not mean he's not going to do it. And that of course, the fact is that the time has elapsed for every government official to do their asset declaration and publishing.
And Jim, that's why I don't understand, because the question here is whether it's not that he's not going to do well or not. The thing is, for the first week, did he meet your expectation? And what you are saying is he did not, but you don't want to say it.
No, he met my expectation, Dennis. I just provided the basis. Yeah, I believe he'll declare his asset sometime later, and he's going to appoint the ombudsman. Hopefully, he can do that. But now, I'm telling you, man, we have to understand the general situation. Now, this is a government that is made of different facets, different and conflicting vested interests. They have to be consulted so that it can be truly a government of inclusion. To have a government inclusion means that you don't make unilateral decision. In the end, you are going to be the one to make it, but it will be based on thorough consultation of various parties, and there will be hiccups in the process.
Dennis, I have one question for my friends here.
Yeah, that's why I want it to be an exchange.
Yes,
go ahead, ask the question.
Let me ask them. It is 1 week going in since Joseph N. Boakai became president of Liberia. Besides appointing 12 or whatever people, what exactly has this government done? 1 week.
He has sent a clarion message to the Liberian people that this government is going to be a government of inclusion, as absolutely in contrast to the.
So that's appointment, basically.
By his nomination.
So that's appointment, basically. I'm talking about policy, James. You are a policy one. What policy? What exactly has this government done that will rescue our people so far?
Well, I don't expect that by now the government will
be
right. Correct.
We haven't even had all the government employees set up.
I don't
that done. How you going to have that done when everyone has not even been appointed? How are you going to start making major policies when you don't even have your cabinet set up? That's a very high expectation.
Yeah.
So blending. So the president.
Hold on, Mr.
Dennis,
Number, you asked the question, so we take a break.
Okay.
We say, go ahead. You want to answer?
Yes, sir. So I listened to our brother Sharif when he came. He had like to how the government is to do X, Y, and Z within 1 week, or should be on the course of getting certain things done, like discussing healthcare, meaningful things that cannot be done in 1 week. The question was, what is our own take relative to the first week? We were just stating that this government is on course. That's my standpoint. So, I mean, listening to Gay Man brought in Ambassador Boakai not doing his making his declaration of assets in the first week. Understandable. But do you know that the one that you supported, that where the hypocrisy comes into play? The government that you supported, the president did not declare his asset until, I would say, the middle to the latter part of his tenure when he did that. So when you point a finger, remember that the rest of the fingers are pointing back at you. So you cannot,
Mr. Ja,
that has gone 1 week,
Mr.
and
Ja,
then
Hold on,
take into consideration that you were there previously, and the thing that you're accusing or you did not do. I'm trying to push the ideology of objectivity and being a realist. That's all I'm saying in a synopsis.
Mr. Ja, can I push
and
back
you
here,
want us to
please?
look backwards, Mr. Wilson?
Mr. Ja, can I push back here, please?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm asking him, Mr.
Not
Wilson, why do you
necessarily.
want us to look backward to see what we didn't do? We're talking about the first
No,
1
not
week of Mr.
necessarily. We're
Boakai.
just saying. I agree with you. We were just saying, in a nutshell, that 1 week, in 1 week time, what is not done, we hopefully in the foreseeable future, even sooner, will be done. But to just cast or complete aspersions on the government for the first week of governance,
hopefully.
is
So now
strictly
we're
unfair,
hoping.
and I cannot find anybody agree with you as objective.
Mr.
When we're
Ja,
objective, we will not agree with that, except we're speaking based on sentiment.
Alice,
no, Mr. Ja, he talked to me directly. Can I respond?
yes and no.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead.
You see, Mr. Legend, it is good that when you are talking here, I think you say you were a former journalist, that you talk with facts. President Weah declared his asset in the 7th month. That's not a latter part of his administration. So let's get that clear. Second, when Joseph Boakai and the Unity Party were looking forward to overthrowing or dethroning President Weah, they said all of those things were so wrong that when we are coming in, we will do those things based on accountability and the rule of law. The code of conduct is very clear that President Weah and his men and women never did these things. They were all in violation. This administration, your administration said, when we come in, this is what we are coming in for, to let all those bad things go. And the president was just interviewed just the week before. He said, I am going to declare my asset, and everyone else that I bring along with me will declare the asset as per the law. That's what he said. And he didn't do that. So this is a man who is coming in as per the law. He violated the law already. So are you expecting him to hold anybody else? You say you should lead by example. If he is not leading by example, is he going to hold somebody responsible to declare the asset when he himself have not done so?
Well, I don't know. Under this government, it's unprecedented that there have been asset declaration and the publishing of assets. I'm coming. There's a
Mr. Lassa, the idea here is the head.
I'm coming. We have the president pro tem.
The head of this ship.
We have the president pro tem.
Hold on, gay man.
Correct. We have the president pro tem who is head of one of the bicameral parts of the legislature. The president pro tem has declared, and that is a surrogate of the president. And so the speaker should set an example so that his people can follow. But we are not going to see that because it comes from the past government. With the president, we understand he's just coming from giving a speech.
So the president is leading from behind. He's leading from behind.
And you are trying to criticize that because you think your man they didn't declare on the 7 days, seven months, and why he is not declaring within few days, and so that is the big crime. That is not reasonable.
He hasn't done doesn't mean he wouldn't do.
Aha.
And Legend, that's not the argument tonight. It's not future. We are all hopeful. Alex, what's your take as to you have any response or any rebuttal?
Well, I think so far we can all agree. This is new government. 1 week is not that long for people to make conclusion on what will be done or will not be done. So in spite of other things that have not been done, I think the government is on the right trajectory. What I will advise is people will always be people. So we cannot say because the president promised that you are going to fight corruption, so nobody going to do anything bad. People will always be people, but what we expect is to reprimand people when they break the laws. And so it will start from where the budget that was made for the inauguration. We want to know whether that budget was used for the purpose it was intended for, and there should be a report so that we will know very well that nothing was misappropriated. So we can all agree that the government is on the right track. But again, I want to say that people will be people, and we're not going to hold the government to be bad because somebody made a mistake. But we'll hold the government accountable if they fail to punish people that are doing wrong.
Thank you. Glennie?
Then I think 1 week is just unrealistic. While it is that we expect VP President Boakai and VP Kuhn to declare their assets, we expect everybody in the House of Representatives and Senate to also follow suit along with the executive branch. I think expecting that VP Boakai and President Boakai and Kuhn to have already done it now is a little bit far-fetching. And for me, if by 30 days it hasn't been done, I will be concerned about it. But I'm not going to hold them at a very high standard right now to say that this is something that they must do within week 1, or that because they haven't done it, it means that they're not going to do. I know it's going to be done, and so we anticipate that it will be done sooner rather than later. But I'm not going to hold them responsible for not doing it in week 1. Doesn't matter to me.
All right. Let me give some.
Let's contribute to this, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I think what we see is just a manifestation of incompetence, and we just can't just call spade a spade. And because they just keep dressing this thing and say, "Oh, it's just been 1 week." This is the man you keep arguing that he's been in politics for 40 years. So he's been in politics for 40 years, and his vice president has been around probably 5-6 years. We expect them right after the elections. They should have their retreat. They should already have at the back of their mind what they intend to do. First, they bum. They already start working. So this argument about, oh, it's just been 1 week, come on. These are people who've been in government before. They know. They are supposed to be the quote-unquote experts. CDC people are supposed to be the people who know nothing. So we expect them day one. They should be on fire. We shouldn't be waiting and say, oh, it's just 1 week, take time. I always say these politicians are pathological liars. And when they get to power, all they try to do is that they just keep moving the goalpost. They keep moving the goalpost. The next week they will move the goalpost. The goalpost will be moving until they leave power. That's what they do. So people who have this high expectation now, you begin to see that, hey, this is just a sign of incompetence.
Thank you. So talking about 1 week, it is not unprecedented for presidents to have some accomplishment within the first 1 week, right? Because you see, when people are running campaign and you see what is wrong with the country, that means you already have on paper what you're going to do when you get there on day one.
Absolutely.
In America, during the politics, they say hit the ground running. So let me give you an example of, and people don't like to say this, but this is the country we are in. President Joe Biden, when he entered office with it, so I was trying to look up things and see whether this is realistic for people to accomplish things in week one. So in week one, the first 5 days, Joe Biden detailed his national strategy for the COVID-19 response and pandemic preparedness. He increased in the first week, increased the vaccine access by creating new community centers and ramping up the distribution. He also unveiled his $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Also, when it comes to economic relief, that was it. Immigration, Biden kept his promise to introduce sweeping new immigration policies during that. So, in the first 48 hours, he signed executive orders to strengthen the Obama era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival program. He also ended the U.S. permit to build the Keystone Pipeline. He also kept his promise to put pause on federal student loan, and on and on and on. So there are some things you can do. Mr. Sharif, do you think that's a fair comparison, or I'm a little bit off because this is America?
No, it is fair. Look, I told you before the election that my expectation is through the roof. With the incoming administration, and I have not deviated from those expectations. The way we start to hold our leaders accountable is, especially elected leaders, is to tell them to hurry up, get to work. How about going to your office at 7 o'clock in the morning when you're supposed to clock in at 8 o'clock? How about sitting there at 7 o'clock in the morning, so all the other employees, if you're the minister, so all the other employees can meet you in that office? How about leading by examples? How about the way you communicate to your employees? All these different things.
Yes, Mr. Sharif, how do you relate that to Boakai first 1 week? Is Boakai not going to office? Is he not communicating? So let's be specific now on those things that we thought he could have done in the first week. He didn't do.
It's a thing that all of you guys have been talking about. Gentlemen and ladies have been alluding to something most of you have alluded to already, which is his promise. His promise was that he's going to declare his assets. And this was on the Voice of America. This was not on a Liberian-owned channel, for some reason. It was on the Voice of America that, these assets will be declared. By the way, George Weah declared, whatever asset George Weah declared was in hiding. We never know what he declared. What we know of George Weah is something he declared back when he was a senator. Something happened, and then he, said he was broke before he came into the Senate. So, but without deviating from this topic, is the things that Mr. Boakai promised to do. So the first thing he promised to do, I talk about unforced errors. So if he had done this before inauguration, if he had, the entire campaign have filed their report to the Elections Commission before inauguration, if you and your vice president, your principal deputy declare your assets before inauguration, we won't be talking about this. That will be set aside now. Okay, Boakai, as far as I know, that I have been told, does not have a lot of assets. He is, he's a low-key individual. He's humble. He comes from a humble beginning, from what I understand. And he doesn't have a lot. He's still in the same house. How long? He still lives in the same house for years. How long does it take for you to declare that to the Liberian people? How long does it take for you to tell the Liberian people that I have $10,000 under my mattress? I have one house. I don't have a bank account. I have X, Y, and Z. How long does that take for the Liberian people to find out? Mr. Jeremiah Count, you do the same thing. If you are a millionaire, how wealthy are you? How liquid are you? What do you have? So that at the end of your term, we're not going to get surprises. These are the things that are necessary. They are imperative. It's not a matter of negotiation about this. When you have set all of this in place, then now you get to work. You can do these things on day one, not wait for first week. See, the thing about Liberians is, we're always in the mentality of, we always in the habit of saying, oh yeah, let's wait for tomorrow. Let's just wait next week. Oh, I've heard on this show, somebody said, oh, I'm not expecting to do something in 6 months. That's bogus.
Thank you. So, Mr. Nangbe, you raised the policy question that, hey, what's the policy? So I'm looking at, so what are some of the things, policy-wise, you think the president could achieve in the first week?
Well, look, there's a lot this president could do, Dennis. One, right now, to import a vehicle into Monrovia, it will cost you at least $7,500, right? They can take a look at the tax regime right now in place. That will bring tremendous relief to the people. Import of goods and services is very expensive, unnecessarily so. And I think this is something they can do something about. There is a whole lot that I think they can do. But a week passes and nothing has done. And this president is telegraphing that he is a president who expects to be treated differently than the ordinary people. The man won the elections. Time for him to get certified. Where was he? He was not in the country. They had to move the date. Everybody else got certified. But he is the president. He had to be waited upon before he got certified. Now we're talking about declaring it. I said, the law says before you take office. Now we're talking, oh, it's only 1 week. He will, or maybe he won't, we hope he will. Why? Why? He is a citizen of the Republic of Liberia. All the laws of the Republic of Liberia apply to him. He can't be treated differently. So he is starting on a very, very wrong footing. There is a lot that they could do, and to Father Washington's point, this man was vice president for 12 years, and then he was in the opposition for another 6 years. So that's 18 years at least he has been either in the seat or closest to the presidency. He knows what governance is. He knows what is to be done. Where is the confusion? I don't know, and I'm really disappointed. I keep saying that. I'm not trying to knock on it, but I expected a whole lot from this bunch than they are giving out. And will continue to hold their feet to the fire. They better deliver, because that's what they promised us. They promised to make a difference, and so far they have made negative difference.
Mr. Wise, we all, including you were very tough on the Weah government. Do you know anything about the Weah government that he did that you think that Mr. Boakai could overturn on day one? Let me throw a few examples out there, and it may not be the right. Like if Mr. Boakai believed like the free tuition, free WIEC, these were bad policies. Exactly. He could issue executive order to overturn them on day one. Like the parks, the way they were created, and then they became Weah project. So really, you can't even tell, how separate whether they are government entity. He could put something there and say, I don't know why it may be. There's a moratorium placed on the export of raw latex, the rubber. He could change that, right? And so many things. Do you know of anything that was wrong with the Weah government that President Boakai could correct on day one, entering office? And if you don't know, it's fair to say you don't know.
My computer is. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent. Dennis, I marvel at people when they have what we call selective amnesia. There are people who are on this platform today. They are holding a 1 week old government to a very high standard, but they could not even, muster the moral fortitude to do similarly then. But having established that, look, the bar has been set so low that give and take, this government, I foresee President Boakai doing access declaration very soon, because it is something that he ought to do. This is a man who came into state power stating that we will not do business as usual. Everything will not be in terms of perfection, but it will be done. And I maintain that things will get on its right footing, and things has just started. This is a brand new government, and this is not an excuse to say this is a brand new government. But coming from a government that governed for 6 years and were way below, underperformed greatly, I think this government just need to do as much as she can rightfully by her people, and I foresee that happening. Things are going to get on course, and things are getting on course. I mean,
and really we're not talking about. We are all hopeful of the future. Let me give you another example. The way the trash entering the houses. Do you think President Boakai could do something on day one or in week one about trash? Could he? Is there anything in your mind that we was doing so badly that President Boakai needed to change in week on day one, or at least during the first week? Or if we were doing so well, then maybe. But if we was so bad, what do you think President Weah could change from the Weah era, or President Boakai could change during the first week?
Well, there are a plethora of things that he could change, and I know he will change.
No, I'm talking about 1 week, because 1 week has passed.
One paramount thing is people coming out to speak out against things that were glaringly wrong, that were not done then. I see that happening whenever the inaugural program did not go accordingly. There have been people who were placed in position on that committee. They have come out and they have spoken against it. Those were not things that were common in the past government. You saw what happened. There are people who appear on major media outlets that have said, listen, this person was responsible for that, and they did not do where they were told or they were to do. So, I mean, I can already see that we are being, held accountable, and people are
Let me go to Mr. Lassa.
Yeah,
he was in the House. Mr. Lassa, is there anything we was doing so bad that President Boakai should have changed during the first week?
A lot, Dennis.
Like what? And why he didn't do that?
Well, one example was to reverse the whole regime of import duty waiver granted by the Commerce Ministry. That is a gigantic corruption scheme at that ministry that needs to. I say ID. I think they call it IDP or something.
Yeah, some tracking thing.
Yeah. Say that again. That wasn't happening. Others used to give selected import duty waiver to very huge concessionaires and others, so that they don't pay taxes, and then they will get a cuts. That can be reversed, and the near monopoly or exclusive control of the importation rights by one or few persons. That is against the interests of the Liberian people. That too could be revisited. A whole lot, like you said, a moratorium on the exportation of liquid latex, rubber latex from the country outside. That was a decision taken at the 11th hour of the exit of the past government without much study or so. That can be revisited. And a lot. Now, you talk about issue at the university, with the free, what you call a free wire test, and then
free tuition.
Correct, free tuition. He doesn't have to rush. The students themselves will come. They themselves will come to demand the reversal of those decisions. He doesn't have to rush on that. He just needs to wait. The students will come to demand the reversal of those. And there are many areas that President Boakai can act. Like I said, he could certainly issue a key policy statement by the appointment of the ombudsman. This is a structure that was created under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, which she was so much afraid of, she couldn't put anybody. We are the same thing, all corrupt people. He can do that. Appoint somebody there. It will prove that you are committed to the anti-corruption fight in the country. We need to see that done. But again, we have only a few days, and let's see what happens going forward.
And then,
Glendy, let me go to Glendy first. I don't want Glendy has been busy today, so Glendy, President Boakai has not gone to the executive mansion. He's working from his house. Maybe that's something that you could have changed. There was this noise about HPX and metal steel and all that stuff, right? Is that something you think would have changed? Also, we never saw a press briefing. The president was, something happened. Up to now, we want to see Kula Fofana before the cameras, right? Giving us update on are these things, because we never heard from our president. And are these things that you think should change that you didn't see happening?
So let me just start with the executive mansion. So the outgoing president should have ensured that the executive mansion was ready for the incoming president to be able to occupy. That was not done.
During
The
the transition,
executive mansion,
didn't look at it during the
let
transition.
me speak. It wasn't done. Currently, the executive mansion is being prepared for President Boyka to be able to, he's actually going to be living there, not just working from there, not doing what we was doing and Ellen was doing, working from foreign ministry. They are preparing it for him to be able to move there. Secondly, Kula
Brandy, how you know that?
there's people they talk.
Yeah.
Just like how you listen to people talk, it's how I listen to information. It's how I listen to it. VP Boyka will move to the executive mansion to live there. Number two, Kula Fofana, if you can remember, was just today is actually day 2 since she has become press secretary. Were you expecting her, who after having been appointed 2 days ago, to give you a press briefing on what happened to Boyka on Monday? Today is actually day 5. Where you having this huge expectation on day 5 when Monday actually makes it 1 week. And on Monday, there is a State of the Union address. And number 3, Dennis, I don't know how you missed that. VP Boyka, when President Nana went to his house.
No, President Boakai, not VP.
President Boyka. When President Nana went to his house, he came out. There was also a press statement issued by Charles Natter. So what else do you want right now? You're not going to get anything else from me, and no one here is going to get it. This is day 5 of the new government. Monday makes it 1 week. If there are policies that we're expecting, if there anything we're expecting, I'm going to wait to see what he has to say in his State of Union address, and then we'll move forward. But I think we're just beating the horn so hard right now that it's like we're not giving room for anything. And I understand people that, and you can understand from the opposition, some people
So
have
Dennis,
become,
let me ask
become
this.
so
Let me ask
opposed
this.
to everything that they've become so opposed that even if they see the cup is black, they're gonna say it's white. So we have to give chance.
Right. And Glendy, what I was saying is, if Kula Fofana posted on her Facebook page
last night,
so she's actually working.
This was her first, and I will remind you again. Yesterday was day 1. Today is day 2. Hold on, Dennis.
No, yesterday she posted on her Facebook page.
Last night she posted the appointments on the Facebook, E-Mansion Facebook, and subsequently on her personal page. So yesterday was day 1. Yesterday was the first time. Tomorrow there is a press conference I heard with her. We also saw today where she posted that they met. The E-Mansion press people met today. So this is day 2 of her appointment. I can't be expecting her to build houses within 48 hours.
No, I was talking about letting us know. She posted that. I read that on her personal Facebook page.
Right.
Yeah,
so here's the thing, Dennis. First of all,
you be using your personal Facebook.
So this is the thing. I didn't expect her to do that, but I wasn't overly critical of that because I actually went to the E-Mansion page on the Facebook page of the Executive Mansion, and what she posted was on her page. I think subsequently, please give me a chance. It was on. There's an E-Mansion Facebook page. There's also an E-Mansion website. So last night, it was posted on the Facebook page first, and then it was subsequently posted on her page. I'm not going to beat her. I'm not going to.
You got it. You have it in reverse.
No, I don't.
I don't. First, then it went to the E-Mansion page.
You're
Dennis, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
What I saw is what I saw.
Hold on, Victor. I want to give
I don't understand why Victor doesn't want me to talk.
I've been waiting for you.
Let me breathe.
I've been waiting for you.
No, I'm still talking, but you're still trying to interject. Give me a chance, brother.
Go ahead now, Victor.
I'm not going to be hugely critical of Kula.
No,
today
I'm not saying hugely.
Nobody talking about Kula here.
I'm not going to do that. Today is day 2.
It's not
and
Kula.
We will expect to see her start talking tomorrow.
It's not
tomorrow.
Go and these people were already part of the team. If you prepare during the transition, you would know that the mansion is not prepared. And so far, I've not seen the official communication telling us why he has not moved to the mansion.
So then we these are the, and this is why these kind of conversations, they're good, because I'm sure they have all people out there
But you
listening.
don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with that. You think we should just wait and this
No,
thing?
I don't have a problem with you talking about it.
No,
What I have a problem with you doing is expecting so much of expecting a different response from me that I'm not going to give you.
No.
That's what I have a problem
I
with.
just want a response from you, not a
Yeah, I
different
don't have a
response.
problem with that. I think they should address I hope that the president will not be like how the WEA government was, where the citizenry was not informed of things happening. I also wanted them to say something out there. If you check my page, I wanted them to say something on Monday from President Boakai, especially when we know that somebody died. So I expected that, and the fact that they didn't address the citizenry on what went on, I'm not going to hold it against them. It's an expectation, but sometimes whatever we expect, we're not going to get it.
Wow.
Yeah, wow too.
I
Wow
mean,
to
it's
you.
been 5 days. We don't know what happened to our president. And go ahead, Victor. You
No, I was just, my sister was screaming at me, so I just decided to
No,
wait
I'm not
for-
screaming. I'm just saying, give me a chance to speak.
So first of all, what I'd like to know is who is Kula Fofana and who is Charles Schneider? I mean, do we have two press secretaries to the president? I don't know. Now, Kula Fofana has been announced. This is the second day, and we're yet to see her. She has yet to come to any press briefing. Why? Why does it have to take her more than 24 hours to come and tell us what the president is doing? That's her job.
When last we ever saw press secretary giving press briefing? Tell me, how many years ago? 7 years, 6 years, 5 years?
What that has to do with
Kareem Jean-Pierre gets press briefing every day last night.
Okay, the U.S. I thought we were talking about Liberia. Okay.
But what is wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
So President, we have become the gold standard now, Mr. Lassa?
No, I mean, well, we are looking at those who were some of this, those who were sycophant, let me not say that, those who were supporters of the past, ardent supporters of the past government, who are emerging to be assumed as having not known anything going on wrong, and today they expect the best, the most, the perfect. Sometimes it's proper to remind them that's for reflection.
Mr. Ja.
Yeah, I think that statement is misplaced. I don't know who that statement applies to. First of all, I'm not a sedition, so I'm not being in support of the past regime. But let me tell you this, Lassa.
You don't have to be a sedition to support the past government.
But I'm saying your statement right now is not applicable.
By your utterances,
it's not applicable.
Hold on,
but let me say this.
That looked like deflection to me.
Yeah. I don't know. So, but let me say this. I will say this. This government is supposed to be comprised of the sober-minded people. This government is supposed to be the experienced, the mature, But I don't understand what is going on, and I just feel bad that you guys are put in a position to come here and make excuses for
give President Boakai a break. Give him some cutting of the slack here. Give him a break.
I am trying.
Few hours, 2 days into the government.
I'm really trying here. If you watch the first 2-3 days of appearance, I always say, you know what? These are errors. These are unforced errors. We believe they will go back. In fact, we said day 2 was supposed to have been the reset. After the flop on day 1, they were going to go back, reflect, and hit the reset button. But what did they do? They doubled down. And after that, what did they do? They tripled down. And they continue to make these rookie mistakes as if to say they know nothing about governance. And they have very experienced people in them. Sylvester Grisby is the veteran diplomat. He is the foreign minister, right? When are we going to see the foreign minister?
Thank you. That leads us to number 3, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is Friday Night Debate. We are talking about how did President Boakai do in the first week. Is it good, bad, or so-so? I think we have did he meet your expectation or not? Now let's go to overall. Within the 1 week, overall, how did he do in his first week? Did he do good? Did he do bad? Or still so-so? Or if you put it this way, did he perform poorly? Did he perform well? Or legend? How did he do?
how you putting the people? How you just jumping over us? We
Yeah,
not.
go ahead, Mr. Washington. You are right.
Yeah. So for me, I just think that President.
So your options are good, bad, so, or you can say poorly, well, or just okay. How did he do overall in the first week?
Well, the first thing I like to say is that I'm the president. I don't think he's in control. You know, I think it's that country is it's been governed by the deep state. I don't think he's in control. And so that's when I listen to people who's close by, like, oh, let's take time with the old man. Let's take time with the old man. You made him to be our president. Now you call him the old man. I hear some people even say, oh, they coming his speech that's coming on Monday. Let's try and make it shorter. Oh, what do you mean? Coming in there, his why did he speech that's coming on Monday? Try and make it shorter. Oh, what do you mean? They can't make it shorter. What do you mean?
Somebody.
That's a feedback from somebody.
A legend.
Yeah. So why does he have to make it his speech shorter? We need to know exactly what he has to tell us. Now we're gonna be treating him like an old man or a baby. Is that how we're gonna be treating him? Or else we should have what I mean in the first place. So for me, I think for the first week for me, I don't know what I should grade.
Legend, please flip your phone to landscape. And what did you just say? You said you treating him like baby?
No, I mean that's where now people are saying, oh, like people are just kind of saying like he's old, let be careful. You shouldn't let him speak for long. Gave him a shorter speech. This is our president. And we
what Boakai told the money for?
What baby? Money.
That was
just in case you don't know Boakai baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like people say, oh, they should have spoken longer. For me, hey, if he has to speak longer to be able to tell his citizens what he's gonna do, let him speak longer. That's why we like that. Or else he's not fit to be a president. And you know, we don't want a situation where he's not fit to run the country. Then we just kind of keep him there just because we want him to be there. No, it shouldn't be that way. If he's not fit, he's not fit. But if he's fit, let him do what he has to do. I mean, to just go to the question you ask. For me, I don't know what I would just say. What it was, I don't know what my own assessment is that I don't have any assessment because I've said over and over that there's nothing fundamental is going to change. With Boakai being in right now, I think he's not even in control. So why am I even going to assess him? I just think that certain people like the deep state, certain people just running this country now. So for me, I think it's beyond expectation. What I've seen a lot of they are ill-prepared, disorganized, nothing's working the way people anticipated, knowing that they've been in government for a long time. I may have flagged this before people say, oh, but that's the same thing in the same pattern that is this government that just left, that they didn't do anything for the people. It's the same pattern that they are following. So for me, I don't know what I would say was okay. I just think it shows that they are just ill-prepared, and it's a sign of incompetence.
Thank you. Mr. Wisa, please turn your phone to landscape as I go to Alice. Alice, my question still is, overall in a 1 week, did he do well, poorly, or just okay? Why or why not? You are muted, Alice. Okay, you're good now. Go ahead.
Why you muted me? Okay, so I think he did okay. I'm saying he did okay because President Boakai came to rescue Liberia. And so when you come to rescue, you are ready to rescue. So we're not going to be giving excuses. But based on the fact that he started appointing people that are qualified, most of them, I would say that he's on the right trajectory. And within the next 2 or 3 weeks, he will be fully to the point where I expect him to be. So right now, he's doing okay.
Good. Mr. Gibbon.
Again, let me go to my premise. For the first time, Mr. Sheriff and I were always going at it. But I had to agree with a young man today because the essence of credibility is consistency. And let me read to you what it says here. The law states that every public official and employee of the government shall sign a performance or financial bond and shall, in addition, declare his or her income, assets, and liability before taking office. That is the code of conduct. That's the law. I think when I was a fellow at the Barack Obama Joe Biden team thing, I think it was Axelrod that said hope is not a strategy. So if you sit there and say it will be done, I hope it's going to be done, that is not a governing strategy. And number two, I will show you this. Maybe you saw it. This one right here. The biggest budget shortfall on a Camara. And today, someone said that Boakai is not in control, and I want to 100% agree because I'm going to say this. Grace Bay was presidential press secretary, Minister of State for Presidential Affairs on Ellie. He's back in his position. Gregory Coleman was police chief on Ellie. He's back in his position. Sam Gay was chief of EPS. He's back in his position. Ellie's assistant makeup man, Jeremiah Pierre, Jerry Linker Pierre, is now minister proper. Kofi Woods was in Ellie Johnson's government. He is now even more closer. He is now the advisor.
What's wrong with that?
This is what we are saying. This is Boakai who says that he was coming to bring a new idea because those that he worked with, when we say Ellen failed, he says the reason these people failed because they were working with Ellen and that is a failed group. I was not part of it.
When did he say that?
Listen, Joseph Boakai said the group squandered opportunities that could have made Liberia better. Now he's coming in and he says he's going to be his own man. But then we see the entire Ellen, in fact, Ellen's own personal secretary, my own, like I said, goddaughter, Kula Fofana, was Ellen's personal secretary. She is now the press secretary of Boakai. So you got to give it to Ellen. You have to give it to Ellen. This is the Ellen Redux. So Joseph Boakai is not in control in any way, and you want to tell me whether he did?
So my question, just one word. Overall, within the first 1 week, did he perform poorly, well, or just okay?
Poorly because Joseph Boakai have not shown up. Elliot is here. Thank you.
Mr. Sharif.
Yes.
Your overall assessment for the 1 week, poorly, well, or just okay?
I mean, look, I'm really, in this situation, I'm really just okay, just okay. I mean, it's the cup half full or half empty, I should say, for me. I mean, keep in mind, I've expressed my support and in some instances, or most instances, admiration for Mr. Boakai, because I think that the level of leadership he's going to bring is going to be different from George Weah to the executive mansion. That being said, on week one, look, another thing I am is first impression. I'm first impression person. That whole optics of the inauguration still cannot escape my mind. How do you, have been in the public service for 50 years, half a century about, or just about, and we were embarrassed. It was a national and international embarrassment that Liberia was, and now we've given chapters to people to write books about us. I talked about that last evening, and so for me, there has to now be a recalibration. There has to, you have to now pick up with much speed, because there's nothing right now. I think the appointments, okay, so, but nothing is going the way I think it should right now, because anytime that you're not talking about your agenda for national development and you're bogged down on, stuff that we're talking about, that's a day that you're losing. It's not a winning proposition to be bogged down in stuff that you should have done months ago. I mean, the transition, you're not in the executive mansion. So I'm supposed to care that, the executive mansion was not prepared for you because you didn't make it work. George Weah, George Weah was going to leave the executive mansion a mess for you. So you have to be smarter than he and try to make sure that during the transition period that all of these things were fixed. And then is lastly, I think that some of the people that we have, that we've had on this show and very intelligent people around here that could have been part of the transition. I can think of Ahmed. I can think of Paul. I can think of a lot of people, even a lot of the, some of the panelists here should have been part of that transition, because these people have shown to me that they are very intelligent, they're smart, they have great ideas. So it didn't happen. It's not good for me right now. It's not good. It's so. It's so that I am, disappointed. I am disappointed.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, this is Friday Night Debate. If you want to be part, call 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403#. Legend, same question. Let's be very brief at breaking my colors. So overall, 1 week, is he so?
Yes, I think it's been pretty decently in my purview. But here's my thing. I don't think anybody expected President Boakai to bring expatriates from other countries to come and work. I think we have Liberian professionals who worked in previous government who are qualified. I have zero problem with somebody bringing them on board this government. I mean, I think the standard and the issue here that we should be proffering is how we are going to deal with people who worked in the past in terms of competence. If somebody worked in the past and they were not proficient, because the system that they work in, it is this government's prerogative to push them to do the optimum for this government to do better, to outdo previous government. I don't think we expect to say, oh, Mr. Coleman worked in the previous government, he did not perform, or that government did not perform, for which reason it kind of hindered his overall performance, which should not put him in a position that is befitting, or he's qualified and has all the requisite training to. I mean, I understand if someone says there's another Liberian that is equally qualified to do that. That's a comparable, that's a comparable thing to do. But if that person is qualified, it will work before they can still work now. Sorry.
Let's talk about this appointment then. So do you think there is no other person better than the people that have to go back for round 2?
Not necessarily. I would say that the president's discretion on who he hires to occupy a position. Like I said, if there's another Liberian who is equally qualified, it's a comparable thing to make. But don't forget, these are appointments based on his likings. So we cannot question, or even if we question, we will just be giving our candid opinion, but we cannot directly influence what the president wants for certain things.
I mean, let's talk about this, and I want your opinion to, Mr. Lassa. This whole thing about people who were in the airlines, and there's nothing wrong with having a job, but if you will go back in the same position, what is it that he's looking at? Is it that because they were the best, and that's the best the country have to offer, so that they have to be there for? I mean, you were there 12 years, then you add another 12. I mean, what is that? What is that all about? What do you think the president is driving at here?
Well, again, Dennis, the government is a government of national inclusion that is made of different.
Bro, I'm also a national, right? So why cannot be police direct? I mean, I'm just using that for
correct. And so far,
yeah, I
as
mean,
yet,
bringing back the same person is like, I mean, out of 5 million people, they one man is the
well,
why?
as head of agency, only 2 persons are going back to their old portfolios, and those 2 people are very young. They are just in their early 40s. Oh my God, I can't imagine that anyone would be questioning somebody. Rumsfeld was in his 30s when he was chief of staff. By the time he was in his 70s, he became defense secretary in this country. That was a gap of almost 40
Oh,
years.
so we are comparing the U.S. to Liberia now?
Well, we've done that over and over. I'm saying, I'm just saying it. Correct. So
You compare Monroe to Miami.
yeah, Rumsfeld when he started when he was chief of staff, and then he was
My question is, I mean, why
What
these
is
people?
clear is that
Why
you
these
have
people
a
coming back?
government- Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah, why are they coming back? Is it they are the best? They are better than everybody else, or
They are only 2 and they are young. They are
No. I just read the list, man. Don't do that.
They are only 2.
No.
Anyway, so Dennis,
Jimmy, they're more than 2. They're more than 2.
Grisby was Grisby was a presidential affair. He's back in that position. Coleman was chief of police. He's back in that position.
That's 2 right there.
Yeah, that's 2. Now look at Sam Gay was SSN director or EPA. He's back in that position. So what are you talking about?
Okay, I will give you that. I will give you that.
Boakai Kamara was
finance minister. He's back in that position.
Okay, so we have 4. We have 4 out of 18. And
Pierre
that
is not
18.
Pierre
is back in that position.
No. Pierre was not information minister.
He was deputy. He was press secretary. He was press secretary under president.
He was not information minister.
And he been given a promotion.
Yeah, but he was not information minister again.
So are we questioning people based on competence, or we questioning them based on what? I'm confused.
My question to James is why?
Why? It's because it's not so bad to have 4. It's not so bad to have 4 out of 18 government officials who
they're not 18 yet. They are 12.
those
They are 12
positions
yet.
who are
They are 12.
First of all, you are not questioning their competence or their otherwise ages or other things or qualifications, but you're asking why they are being reappointed. I would say, well, that is a choice of the president, and there are also other parties involved in the government. Now, one thing here we have to know is that all of them are technocrats. There's no nepotism here. It's no family affair. Among the 18 people, many people,
other technocrats in the country besides these people who just keep
but many people have said that Boakai was going to be a regionalist, a tribalist.
No, that's not the question.
Jimmy, if you started list today, his nephew is going to back up.
Mr. Lassa, that is not the question. The question is why these people being recycled.
Thank you, Lassa. I think you have answered. Let me go to Glendy. Glendy, we have a lot of qualified Liberians. I mean, I never work in government, right? We have a lot of them. Why you think Mr. Boakai is going back to these same people? I'm not saying anything wrong with them, but I just want to know his mindset.
So, Dennis, I will tell you, I was one of those who, and I'm one of those who have frowned on that. And I think that President Boakai should have looked for new faces, especially when those people have served in the capacity before. Because what it says to us Liberians is that only one person can do this job. And I think that aspect of it, I do not agree with it. I also do not agree with the fact that the tenant lady at the finance ministry has served in Ellen government, we are government, now Boakai government. Is he also telling us that this lady is the only person who knows how to do budget for a country? So I'm not in favor of that aspect. I think he should have looked for new faces and new people with a qualification, because clearly there are more Liberians. There are a lot more Liberians out there who are qualified for these positions. And when you do this, what you're saying is only this person is fit to do this job, which I don't think is right. So I don't think people should have been placed back in positions that they were in before. I think they should have looked outside to give it a different appearance than what it is. And I've made that known that I wasn't in favor of them taking people like Gregory Coleman, bringing him back, and somebody else. Why is that? It's his prerogative to do it. It just does not give the appearance that he's looking out to get other qualified Liberians in those positions.
Well, Dennis, for me, I don't know if I should contribute on this one. When you have a team,
and before you go there, Jerome, Adam, was Grisbeth presidential affairs?
Yes.
Yeah, I misspoke and
Minister
said
of State for
foreign minister,
Presidential
but
Affairs.
he's presidential.
It's
affairs.
presidential. I'm not sure, but
Yes, he was.
he's been there. He's been there for a
Was he
while.
not ambassador?
yeah, he was ambassador too. He was first. He started superintendent of Sino.
Yes.
He was then came to Morocco.
I don't remember about the presidential, but
For
I
me-
know he was an ambassador.
Yes.
For me,
Yes.
if we're gonna hold the president accountable based on his performance, then we should also respect whoever he chooses to work in his government. That's my point. So even if he brings John Brown, who have worked there because he thinks John Brown will bring the productivity that he wants, then he's choose John Brown. If he thinks that if you're gonna bring me there, he's not gonna get what he gets from John Brown. He wants John Brown to be there. Let John Brown be there. But hey, at the end, we're gonna judge him based on those he puts in his government. For me, I really don't have problem who he chooses to be on his cabinet. Except the person has some moral issues. The person has been corrupt and all that kind of stuff. But if the person is not being corrupt, the person is good and competent, they are ethical, they can do the work. Because these are the people we're gonna judge him on. So tomorrow we want him to bring people in that tomorrow when they get there and then they're not producing, they'll say, oh, they're not doing anything. Then he bring in people and then we can judge him based on the people that he brings on his team. So,
And, I tell you why this is troubling too, Dennis.
And that's what I want to add to it. So
Yeah.
talking about whether they are this or that, let's talk about Sarah Beslo-Yanti.
what's wrong with her?
Okay, there have been calls that her bachelor degree is questionable, and so before even she was appointed, the president still went ahead and nominated her. What's your feeling? And to be honest, I've seen instances where people who don't have bachelor degree there are programs that you can get into to go straight to your master program.
Correct.
So that happens. But if that's the case, should she tell us or wait until confirmation?
Yeah, so my only thing also about the thing is that those who like what is his name, Martin, their colleague who is bringing out this information, don't you think the president and his team has also gone through their own vetting and she has produced something that proves to them that they're satisfied with? So I don't know. I don't want to just be looking at it from one side. Just look at it also. Don't you think that competent people with the president are able to say, hey, we saw some signal, we went through it, we look at it, and we think there's no problem. That's why we stay appointing her. For me, I wouldn't look at it from that side. I just want to look at it from the side of because Martin and his friends have gone and put this thing on Facebook. So therefore, the president.
Do you look at what they put on there? Because as you
we should, and probably they have. We don't know what they have done. They have their own vetting process. Probably we come through that, and they look at it and say, "Oh, yeah, she has proven to us that what she has is credible. That's why we're appointing her." So let's wait and see what happens when it gets to the Senate.
Alex, what's your take on the Sarah Beslo issue?
You got me muted.
Yes, because
I saw Front Page Africa yesterday. I read Front Page Africa online, and I saw that I think that was settled. According to the story, the information regarding her credentials were resolved. So I don't know if there's any new thing after that.
How were they resolved? Do you know?
The story just said that they had problem with her credentials, but after thorough investigation, it was proven that those credentials were acceptable.
Okay. So the issue is they said
and that was, I think, yesterday I read that.
They said she did not show that she acquired a bachelor degree, although she got a graduate degree from online university. Because their exception is because those universities did not require, they don't really scrutinize. And that's how she got the program. So
somebody needs to mute Dennis.
Yeah, so
a lot of noise in the background.
That's Alice.
No, that's
The noise is coming from Alice.
Alice, can you mute?
So the me thing is, no, what? I'm not mute. You want me to mute myself?
No, go ahead. Make your comment.
Okay. So basically the people were making, they raised the concern, and those that have the appointing power went through the documents and felt like she satisfied whatever requirement that was sought for. So
You don't know that.
she's qualified to get a position that they appointed her in. So yeah, there's nothing much that was said in the paper.
Thank you. Victor, what do you say about Sarah Briscoe?
I think the issue that Coley and his team are raising is that they are saying that Ms. Beslow is reporting to have earned X and X, and they believe she did not. I don't think the concern is that she does not have a bachelor's. I know she went to Cotton.
No,
So
that's the concern. The concern is she doesn't have a bachelor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I get the master's. Yeah.
Yes.
Then she got
So
a master, and then she said she attended Cotton. So they
Correct.
want to know where she got a bachelor from. And the
Correct.
reason she got a master's from university they call diploma mills, because those are not universities that will do much or a thorough job to get bachelor degree.
correct. And the irony of all of this is that Stanton Witherspoon, who himself is a fraudster, he has been on this case from the beginning. So I don't know, but look, I believe that's what the confirmation committee in the Senate is going to do.
But
Right?
that got nothing to do with
He is
Stanton,
just
though.
another guy over there sitting down.
Right? No, but this got nothing to do with
investigating
Stanton.
people. Oh my God!
I mean, you just trying to throw a jab at the
So
CEO.
sometimes I
Right.
want to go choking up there.
So Jimmy is just going to interrupt me anytime he feels like.
No, I'm backing you. I'm supporting
Oh, thank you. Oh,
Victor.
but then go ahead and interrupt me. Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
backing you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, Victor.
But the point is, though, Dennis. First of all, they moved on her credential even before she was nominated, right?
I
That has
think
to
they
be
heard that.
but that has to be concerning. Were they fronting for another candidate? Is this an
How does that matter, though? If she, I'm not saying it, but if she actually lied on her document, should it matter who it comes from or the motive?
No, it doesn't really.
Right.
It shouldn't matter. But I'm also concerned. These are some of the things that we were discussing here. How this infighting is spilling out into the public sphere, right? So, but Sarah, look, she is an accomplished woman. I mean, she has had international, exposure. She's done a lot. So, I believe if we were to choose competence over credentials, I would go for the competence. I think she's demonstrated sufficient competence that she is capable of being the foreign minister.
The issue is not competence, though. They're talking about integrity, credibility. Did she lie about this?
Well, I mean, that is an issue that I
Right.
believe that is still,
But I don't think her competence, experience, I don't think that's in dispute. Legend, what's your take?
Listen, I'm going to premise this off the fact that I see a lot of times we have objectivity issues. This is Martin Colley who have brought this lady's credential into the limelight. We remember when the past government was seated, Martin Colley brought a lot of prominent people in the past government names, and all of us who on the other side of the spectrum today, we were hailing Martin Colley. We were applauding Martin Colley. We lauded his effort for bringing name of seditionists who degrees were questionable. But today, Martin Colley is doing it to one of our own. Everyone has something to say about Martin. I mean, granted, she said she's waiting for the right thing, which is her right. Her inalienable right is to go to the Senate vetting committee and submit her documentation, and they are the one to rightfully scrutinize her. Having said that, if this government is going to do better, when somebody brings us something that is alarming, I expect people to be in support or do the same like they did when they were criticizing seditionists or people in CDC government who the likes of Martin Colley would bring under the limelight to scrutinize. I think it is fair that she do on that day. And if it's proven that she did something fraudulent in any sense relative to her credential, I don't think she deserves the job. As far as my knowledge goes, she's not presented her document openly for people to see whether it's concise what Martin said is fraudulent. But when it is proven on that day, I have direct communication with Senator Dillon. I am going to write him before then that if this lady is proven to be carrying fake document and she all this time kept her word that her document has no, like, absolutely no confusion, no lapses, no hindrance, everything is fine, I don't think she deserves to hold the job. Other than that, I've seen that she's had very prominent positions around the world, which is fine. And those who said they will pick her job experience over just a degree are conformed, and I agree with that ideology. Job experience is something that matters a lot. But at the same token, if she in any way did something deceptive until the day it is proven by the House, when she go in front of the committee, I think she do not deserve the job. Just to set an example for a government that want to be better than the predecessor.
Before
Dennis,
bringing call on,
I was ending my
hold
statement.
on, Victor. Before I bring call, I want to go to Mohammed. Let's talk about Yeka Koluba. He was in the house.
Mr. Ja, somebody is interfering with when you're talking.
Yeah, that's Alex, you have to mute. Yeka Koluba in the house calling, Boakai. Is it that Yeka is just comfortable being in the opposition? He just can't be in power. Is that the reason? Or it's the same Yeka, right? When he was insulting President, we are climbing on top of the car. He was the darling of the opposition. It's the same Yeka, Glendy. You still like him?
I still like Yeke. We know Yeke. That's how he's gonna be. Yeke said that's how he's gonna communicate. He said if he goes right now and go to, because one of the things was, can you find another way to communicate? Because this is something you've been doing for 6 years. We know it. It's not right, but you continue to do it. Can you find another way? Yeke said no. He's not going to, because if he finds another way, then it's gonna be uncle and nephew.
The truth?
Huh? Say that again.
Saying the truth.
Well, he has his interpretation.
He called President Boakai a rogue, a thief. Is that true?
It's subjective based on the information based on the information that he has, he can justify that.
But he
can say that. He one of the things he said when I listened to it was he was talking about, he's still asking about where Boakai got the money from to give to the people of Totota. And so if he feels that Joe Boakai, that's how he wants to describe him, his information is subjective. I cannot subject myself into what he wants his interpretation to be. That's on him. I don't think he's a rogue. I don't think Boakai has done anything to me for me to call him a rogue. But if that's how
he owes the public, explanation about that money so that Yeke will not have any reason to call him a rogue?
I think he does.
I think he does. Thank you, Mr. Sherry. Let's talk about Yeke.
Yeah, so even if President Boakai says, tells the nation where he got the money from, Yeke is still going to bring up some issues. But you are correct. If you're going to be different, and I guess, some of us are holding them at a very high standard. Maybe the bar is so high. But to me, this is the kind of thing you go ahead and declare and say, look, after we won the election, we got some good wishes. People were donating, and this is how much we got. And the fact that he went to Totota, the fact that he went to Bon County, and identify with the sufferings of those people, of those citizens, it's a good thing. It's a great thing. When the president was missing, when the sitting president was missing, but if the issue of the funds come up, which they have, they came up immediately. The country should know about this expeditiously. This is not something that you say, I'm going to be quiet. But if you know anything about our current president, he's not going to say anything. When the issue came up, where he was being accused of trying to take money from some oligarchs, and he didn't say anything. He just let it slide. So you're going to see a lot of this. This is in this administration. There's never going to be a clarity on any of these issues. So how do I know that? It's from the past, because from the past you can project what's going to happen in the future.
Jimmy, I want you to have the last word on this, and then we'll bring in our callers.
Yeah, thank you. First, I want to let my friend Victor to know that I was actually agreeing with him when he was speaking about the guy on the sister station, just castigating people, just saying on loudly when in fact he's guilty of crime and other things in the place, saying that castigating a woman who has earned a reputation for decades. But Dennis, to answer your question, so I was agreeing with you, Victor. To answer your question with Yeke, I just feel kind of sad for Yeke. I'm one person. I refuse. People have in the past asked me to contribute towards Yeke because I did sympathize with him, with his situation. I refused because he was a fighter. He certainly, I think he's admitted to killing people. So I wouldn't give him my money, although I supported him. So I used to write on his behalf and things. And I think the problem with Yeke is Dennis is that is his low level of education. I think he has good intention. The challenge for him now is for him to recognize the difference, the change of era of regime. Under the past government, it was a government known to be a murderous government, a government that killed its own citizens and officials, as attested by Mary Brough, top government officials afraid that her other top government official will kill her, and then the government that was stealing recklessly.
When did she say that?
On spoon. So,
when did she say? No, be exact. Quote her. What did she say on spoon?
She said she's afraid to go to seize cars from government official because something will happen. She wants to live.
Correct. That's right. Does that mean government officials include senators, representatives?
I don't know. She said government officials. I'm just coming.
Hold on, Jerome.
Hold on, there were questionable deaths during our government. There were mysterious deaths.
What's about Grace time? What's about Beverage Coleman's time? What's about Green, Harry Green? What's about all of these deaths?
The challenge for Yeke would be for him to recognize the differences between the regime under which he operated. It was a dysfunctional government. So he operated. He operated with a dysfunctional norm attitude towards a dysfunctional government. What you have coming is a functional government.
Hold on, Jerome.
Mr. Kolba say he's seen the same dysfunction.
But you have to allow me, man. What you have?
Thank you, I want to go to the callers.
What he saw, he's seen it now.
He won't allow me complete my thought. What you have coming is
he's telling you that
I want you to ask something, right? We noticed that Jennington Massacre was appointed justice minister. Now we see Cooper Kruger. What's going on? Was Jennington fired, or was it a mistake? Did you notice that?
Yes, I told you that Boakai is not in control. Whoever is in control is calling the shots.
He was fired before he got appointed.
This is self-evident.
And also, our CPP friend Anthony Gay said he can't wait to drive from Monrovia to Southeast because in 100 days, no car will be talking about now because 95 days. And I don't know whether the counting will start on Monday or it started on Monday.
No, from day one. And Mr. Jai, don't forget, they appointed our friend Abdulraki Atama.
No, that list was fake.
That's what I'm saying. And then they came out and said, because we all send our greetings. People were on OK FM, people were everywhere sending greetings to him, congratulatory notice to Massacre, and then all of a sudden they came out and said it was fake.
No, actually the Massacre name was on the list that had A.B. Krumah and all these people.
That's what I'm saying.
And now it changed.
And this is where some of us were saying how essential it would be for Kula Fofana to mount the podium and tell us what is fake and what is not, right? I think that is important.
No,
but,
it's very important.
I was making the point of
if I were in that position, I've given 3 press conferences by now.
Absolutely, the press will get tired. They will get tired.
But let me bring in our callers here. The callers have been waiting. First caller is Mr. Tedman. Tedman, go ahead. You are. Oh, sorry, Tedman, you are live. We are assessing the first 1 week. I'm trying to unmute you. It's not working for me. There's a malfunction here.
That's Lassa. Why you sabotaging?
No, you kept me quiet, Jerome. You don't want me to. Yeah, you don't want me to speak in this place today. So
All right.
yeah.
Why you
Okay.
sabotaging?
We got okay, no, it's not you. It got to be Tubman first. Let me start again, Mr. Tubman. Tubman, you are live. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Great show tonight. Thank you to your panelists. And I'm enjoying the show. I'm glad that Sharif is finally getting his footing right now. Because unlike last night, he was defending this undefendable, but right now I think he's on track.
You see?
Yeah. So the question here is, how did Boakai do his first week? And I will just go straight to the point. He failed miserably. He's unaware of what's going on. The appointment that is going on right now, Mr. Boakai had no idea what is going on. People rush. Yes, I'm telling you. We're getting incredible information from back there. The old man is not aware of anything. People rushing lists to him. People bringing in names, and those names are coming up. He's not aware. He's not in control of anything. That old man is not even going to the executive mansion soon. He's very restless. He's home, tired. He doesn't know what's going on. The country right now is in a fiasco. That's what I can say. Right now, it's in a big, big fiasco. And these guys are not fighting among themselves. They don't know what is going on. They don't know what is going on. I don't care what they can do. Nobody can defend that. It's a fiasco right now in that country. Thank you.
Thank you. We pray it's not a fiasco. Trogon Bayou. Go ahead.
Good show. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good show, Dennis. First of all, I want to start from the question you asked about the administration, how to evaluate administration within 1 week. And if they can't organize a proper inauguration, they have not accomplished anything in the first week. They are still struggling to appoint people. In all of that, they all reflect to the sign of being very incompetent. Let's be honest, guys. That because we all expected this government to come in and keep running straight, because this is the most experienced government that we ever had, according to Unity Party people during the campaign. And this is the most experienced president that Liberia ever had, 42 years in government. And then you get elected, you can't even form a cabinet. You can't even organize an inauguration. So this is sign of incompetence. The second thing I want to talk about would be about this $350,000.
We didn't talk about it today.
I heard the Unity Party chairperson said that the money came from the Unity Party bank account. Are you kidding me? Before the election, the Unity Party was thrown out of their headquarters. That's number one, because they couldn't pay rent. Two, they never had money to run campaign in the first place. The president today said he was living on loan. And we know people were soliciting all around for donations to help to keep him out for his upkeep.
But that loan story, that old story now, man.
But it's still part of history.
It's not old story. We're going to put all of this together. They talk about being, the most professional and competent government. If you proclaim to be competent, and we're saying all this, we are all professionals here, man. I don't let the criticize because I know. I'm in administration, so I know what it takes to run an organization. But if you profess to the people that you are so competent, and then we think this level of incompetence, then there's some of us to come out to say something about it. And then
Thank you.
Talk about the executive mansion. They said the executive mansion is not prepared.
Troko, I got to bring other people
guys.
now.
Yeah, I come to end it real quick. This is my last one, Dennis. Please. You see, the executive mansion is not prepared for President Boakai to move in. President Boakai was vice president for 12 years. They never did nothing. They didn't fix the executive mansion in the first place. In fact, they used the executive mansion as a cash cow for corruption. President, we have fixed the executive mansion now. They say you can't move in because it's not prepared. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you have a point there.
Dennis.
Thank you.
We'll just keep following. We'll hope for the best for our country. But right now, every sign we're seeing right now is a sign of incompetence. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Let me bring on Flomo Livingstone from the UP. Go ahead, Flomo.
Well, Mr. John, why you always there from the UP?
You're running away. You're running away now.
I just trying for them to hear your name so they can call you too.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I mean, no, I don't want to. I don't want to work in the government, but I'm glad what the president is doing. Okay, no, Dennis, let's be fair. People just call and talk a lot of time. So you're trying to tell me United Party didn't have money and they get throwing out, so that means they can't have money. So you tell me, Dennis, last week I don't have money. So if I have money this week, so that's a problem. So is that a sense people making here? Because United Party did not have money in 2 months' time. So they shouldn't have money again. Is that why the corner trying to say?
Marseille, I didn't have money in Massachusetts. I moved to Georgia. I'm loaded. Go ahead.
Okay, so my point they shouldn't even make that type of comment. That does not make sense. No, you can call back for me. People, no, you can call back. I know people calling President Boakai. Roll. You can provide no evidence. He said Boakai should declare his assets. I agree. Well, when Laha Yakan Kolba declare his own assets, we would like to see his assets too. Then Yakan Kolba declare his assets before he asks other people to declare their own.
Thank you.
When Laha Yakan Kolba walk into our house of representatives and provide a bill on the floor that will benefit the people of District 10, instead of just going in there and yelling all type of things, let him walk to the speaker and give the speaker a bill. Say, hey, here's the bill I'm giving that will benefit the people of District 10. Instead of just yelling, screaming. He can't talk nothing good on our floor. He just go there and talk a lot of noise, and he can prefer the bill that will help the people of District 10. The 30,000 he took.
Thank you, Flomo.
What did he do for the people of District 10? He did have money, and he didn't do nothing for the people of District 10. Then he want to ask other people to credibility. What kind of credibility he has?
Thank you.
He did that whole 60,000.
Thank you.
What he did for the people of District 10. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me bring on D. Perkins.
Good evening, Mr. Jai. Good evening to the rest of the panelists. Great show. The first week of Joseph Boakai's administration, like the first caller said, he failed miserably, flat on his face. Now, I've always said this. Hold on. I've always said this. When I watched a town hall meeting here in New Jersey when Joseph Boakai came here, one thing I picked up was the old man at this age with all the medical conditions around him. He's also developing Alzheimer's.
Hey man, stop that. Please don't diagnose anybody. You are not a medical doctor. You are not his doctor.
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying from my observation.
Are you a medical doctor?
From the question.
Even if you are a medical doctor, you are not his doctor. So let's leave the
okay, his doctor. Point taken. Now, it is clear that he really is not aware of his surroundings. I think Boakai is not only physically weak, he's also mentally weak. So if we thought that George Weah was a global president, I think we will see worse than what George Weah government was doing. Because listen, there's no need that will be beating around the bush on this thing.
Thank you. I just want you to be careful now. Just watch your language and speak to the issue we are discussing tonight.
Okay. Let's deal with the issue.
Yeah.
The inauguration failed. You know, that was your inauguration. You are the people's president. It's the people's inauguration, but they are inaugurating you. You selected a people. Now, for the $5,000 that will be going to the district. That is your idea or your way of starting the decentralization of your government. Now, if you have 68 people on a list of that electoral program, you couldn't have or put them or segregated them. 2 people go to the county and liaison with the county leaders and let the 5,000 be spent for the purpose. And that money will just from one hand to another, and now everybody's complaining that I didn't receive that. So it is just disappointing as a Liberian, to see at this early age that things like this are happening again.
Thank you.
Yes, so far so good.
Thank
The
you.
government has failed, and we hope that they will pick it up.
Thank you.
It's just a hope.
Thank you. All right, those are our callers. Today, our reporters in Monrovia reported a very sad story that I want to share with you. Where in Bannersville, where I used to live, a 65-year-old man called Robert Jelly was found guilty of molesting his 13-year-old niece. This is very sad. And I thought to share that. I hope SGBV will be a key, areas that the government, our current government, will really focus on, because for the past 6 years, even though we had a feminist in chief, not much was done in that regard. So it breaks my heart as a father of a daughter I love so much. Well, I'll call Mr. Legend to respond to our call. There are a lot of the callers that were talking against JNB. So you want to respond?
Listen, when you listen to people, air the sentiments of a 1-week-old government, I can understand from when some of them come. They've come from frustration. I mean, these are people who expected a leader that was there, that governed for 6 years, and he was rejected by the people, and thus deeming it necessary that they go with him. So I am not surprised that these people are calling to make these statements. I mean, some people, when you hear them speak on national issue, you can tell they're biased just from their tone. So I am not surprised. We just have to stay with what we are there for, to do better than the previous government, and that cannot be recognized. That cannot be that cannot come to fruition within just a week. We have to allow this government to work, and then in due time, like I said, whenever you give somebody a job to do, you give them time, then you can come back and rightfully critique them. When we came to power in the first 2 years or first year and a half, I was never critical on him. I wanted for him to work. Then I critique how this government to sit and work. Once the government has gone a certain length of time, then you can say, these are the things that you promised, you did not do. Now we can critique you rightfully. But if you just harshly criticize a government for 1 week of stay, I don't think you're doing justice to them. You are being unjust. Let them do the work. Then you come back and say, oh, you failed on what you told all you were going to do. But how can one in the rational mind judge a government based on 1 week? I mean, you will only be doing that government injustice. That's just my candid opinion.
Dennis, if I may, real quick.
Hold on, I want to see whether you remember this song.
A primary reason for which a lot of callers are sounding a little bit upset. Yeah, and he has gone, rightfully so. A government that will not speak to the people during times of national crisis, or government that leave the country when we have our staple diet on a shortage on the Liberian market. He goes to watch a football game for over 40 days. I mean, how much more insensitive can somebody be? You think
our nation is now in crisis, and the president is sitting right in the country. He has not spoken to the nation.
Listen, but it's being addressed by the people who were placed on that committee. Yes.
Yeah, let Mr. Sherry go with it, because we are about to wrap up.
Yeah. So real quick, one of the callers, I think, was Tubman, said, I'm on track today. That's not unusual for people to say these things. But yesterday, what I was saying is, to sit here and accuse Miata Fambule of all of this problem is what I rejected, and I continue to reject that. We cannot put all this on her. She has an impeccable record of doing things in Liberia, so we have to wait till all this unfold. The second thing I have to say to Ledger's point is what we're doing tonight, or what I'm doing at least, is expressing concerns. I'm not, ready to jump overboard yet, but I'm expressing concern. It's like you're teaching someone, like I'm teaching my teenager the other day to drive, right? And when I see the wheel turning somewhere else in the middle of the highway, in the middle of the street, I'm going to have to redirect you. No, that's not where we're going. We're going this way, because I'm not going to sit there with you for us to have a crash, right? So basically, that's what we're doing. We're guiding. So we're adding our voices. We're guiding things as they go. There are concerns already, and we have to know those concerns, and they're valid.
Thank you. And we are about to close. We talk about the appointment. Does any one of you have a name to recommend? I mean, it is just a fun game, right? Do you have a name of somebody who you think should be in a certain position?
Yes. I'm ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dennis Jar, Superintendent, Sano County.
Oh, God. Mr. Lassa.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ombudsman position, that's strategic. I'm looking at lawyers like Edwin Morton.
Okay, Glendy, you are muted.
I don't have any. I can't think about anybody right now.
You, not even me?
Definitely not you.
Alex, you have anybody in mind who you recommend for any job? Okay.
Well, I think you'll be a very good fit in any capacity, especially IT.
Mr. Wisse.
Yes, sir. I was within my discipline when I was in Liberia. I think my good friend and brother Patrick Hunter. Sorry, this has a little bias in it. I think he can go to Liberia Broadcasting Corporation and make a great impact. This is somebody who I worked on the radio with, and I think he can do well. If you don't mind, in terms of the Liberia Football Association, which is also my other passion when I was in Liberia.
They said one.
Oh, sorry, I misheard.
The UP man now.
Sorry, I misheard.
We can go ahead. Who is the LFA?
I swear to God.
So it comes with a little explanation. So if we have a proper mechanism put in place, I think we can work with our own. For a starter, I don't mind James Diba. He was there before. Having the opportunity to go back. This is my guy.
Glenn said you got support.
No, I didn't say that.
You get that? Yes. I don't know what it is.
He said when all the mechanisms are put in place, so he's finna make it
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if the seat that Councillor Musa Dean was nominated to has been filled, but I would
let's say it's vacant. Go ahead.
I would think this president should look to Councillor Tini Baliwana. I think he will bring a lot of credibility to his government. He should put him in that seat.
Thank you. And that's one thing I thought the president will move swiftly to nominate somebody.
Absolutely.
Mr. Sharif, besides Anthony Caselli, as you said yesterday, who else?
You said besides Anthony Caselli? Anthony Caselli for Minister of State for Presidential Affairs?
Chris, already taken that.
Okay. Well, you still can reshuffle in 3 months.
Or you go to
it won't happen. It will not happen.
They took 2 days to make 7 appointments. Then they can reshuffle in 5 days.
Yeah, it's
Mr. Washington, I don't know whether it will matter. You have any nomination?
No, I don't have nominations, but right now with the nomination, I have two people that I love so much that which I believe in. And I think they would bring a lot.
One.
Hold on, Jerome, please.
I'm not recommending anyone. I'm saying that the appointment have been made. There are two people in the government right now that I love, who I think will bring credibility to the government because I know them very well.
Who are they?
Kofi Woos. And then Double Jala, because we both of us worked together at Stella Maritime. When I was teaching ethical philosophy, he was also in that business department. So that's someone that I know very well, which I think will bring some credibility to this government. So,
have you said nobody call her name?
Dennis, but you said one. It can't be one.
Oh,
you know?
Okay.
Look at how can I leave? How can I leave my mentor Dubanyan? How can I leave Dennis' job for Sino County? How can I leave Adnan and Cor and all these people?
Yes.
You know, but you said one.
Right.
How can we leave Ivy Tyler too?
And we are focused on LeBron. We are happy that one of our panelists on the FOL marketplace, our business, economy, and finance, the government is recruiting from FOL marketplace. Our own deputy. Yeah.
Round of applause.
Yeah. So because of the professionalism, and we still think that they're going to recruit some of our folks right here, because
they need to recruit Victor.
Oh, no, see?
All right, but thank you so much for the night. At this time,
Victor is too anti-government. You can't.
He'll be okay. He's good.
Okay. I already got your name up there.
Let's conclude tonight. Let's start with Glendy. Your closing.
Well,
in your closing, let's set some signs for the future. Want to be hopeful. I want to go home, man.
Yes. We all want to go home. I'm actually going home this year. I haven't been there since 2017. I will be going this year. But we're looking forward to next week. We're looking forward to hearing more. I'm also looking forward to the appointments to see more women. I can I sit here? I think out of the 12 or 15, whoever, we have 6 women right now. So we're looking forward to see more. We don't want it to be 50-50. People keep saying you want it 50. No, I don't want it 50-50. But I want to see a balanced number of women who are competent to be able to know. Thank you very much. I will see. That's a negative. I want to see a lot more women in there. I will hope that and in all fairness,
you want Charlene Bromsky in there?
Of course, they should reach out to her. She's competent. She could even go for one of for justice. Even though I like who Victor is recommending, but she could even be a candidate for justice on the Supreme Court. But what I want to say is this week hasn't been too good. I didn't get to answer that question fair or poor or excellent. I think the week has been very tumultuous. I will say that. There's so many up and downs that has been in the week. We have to be fair and balanced. One of the things I didn't like was the first day the appointment was on the green sheet. Second day the appointment was on a white piece of paper. Third day the appointment is on Facebook page. So I think that aspect of it, they need to be able to straighten it. I'm glad that Kula is the press secretary, so they can now have a system on how announcements will be made, and somebody will take charge and start calling. But I think the first week was done poorly. Looking forward to next week that they can pick up on some of the mishaps and start leading the country as we have expected.
And Glendy, why you don't want 50-50? What's wrong with that?
Because I know it's going to be impossible. I'm a realist. They're not going to appoint.
No, but you said you don't want 50-50.
No, I didn't say I don't. Some people were saying when I'm asking for more women, someone was saying it can never be 50-50. And I say I'm not asking for 50-50. I'm just saying have a little more women in the government.
So I think you should ask for 50-50. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, we can, but I want to be realistic because it's not going to be. It's not going to happen. I want something that's attainable, and they're not going to do that. They're not.
Mr. Winsor, you're closing. And by the way, Dr. Clarence Gono, all the way East Africa from Philadelphia, someone recommended him to me as the curriculum chief. I'm not happy about I shouldn't say it that way, but I'm not really excited about the education minister. I don't think people from higher education, there are some great people, you know, we have the MCSS, Mr. Aziz Zaulo, we have Sister Goya, we have
Yeah.
Elaine Samba. These are people who, you know, when it comes to K through 12, you can get an administrator from university. That's not higher education, that's different. But anyway.
But I know you're going to someone else, and I thought when you did the education show, I thought somebody from the government would have paid attention to some of those recommendations that the educator said. That was one of the concerns I had. We want to be able to have an educator who's been a teacher, who knows the plight of students, to be able to, and especially know Liberia and the dynamics in our country. But we wish her all the best anyway.
All the best. Mr. Wisa, you're closing.
Well, as usual, Mr. Dennis John, my greatest pleasure is always a good thing to share the platform with Liberians. We are very passionate about our little country. This is no secret, and we are millions of miles away. But you can see the passion coming out of us. Having said that, I want to second what Ms. Glandy said. We look forward to having a lot more women included, and I'm glad she made the clarity on tonight's show. She's not saying it should be 50-50 because that would be unrealistic considering where we are. Like you see on our platform right here, ratio of men to women, but she's definitely right to call for a lot more women to be included in this government, which will appease me as a man who have all siblings. Proudly, all of my siblings are women. So yeah, but I would retire to say, listen, long live our common patrimony, Liberia. It's always my ardent hope that as we grow in age, that Liberia will continue to grow in wisdom. And at this juncture, I'd like to retire. And my pleasure, Dennis.
Father Washington.
Dennis, thank you so much, and thanks to our platform. I think it's a healthy exchange. But before I close, there are three things I would like to leave for today. I don't know, Glennie, do you know the cultural ambassador very well?
Who is that, Julie Indy?
Yeah.
I know of her, not personally.
When I watch her, when she's welcoming guests, I don't know what she's doing, but I don't understand what she's doing. The first thing she does, she brings these calabash with rice. I don't know whether it's a religious thing she's performing, and then she says she takes the thing first to the person in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Blessed Holy Spirit. That's nothing called Blessed Holy Spirit, but I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she knows what she's doing. She puts it first, she takes it back, she puts it there, she takes it back. I mean, it's just a lot of confusion. And then she takes two different, what's the thing named, scarf. She puts the first one on the person, she puts the second one there. What is she doing? I don't know. That's, for me, that's something she needs to think about what she wants to do. She said, cultural ambassador, just do something that is cultural because you're confusing people. I don't know what she's doing. The second thing I want to talk about is
what does that even mean? This whole thing of cultural ambassador. But go ahead.
I don't even know, and she's been there for 29 years.
Yes, that's something she. I don't know what
time.
Yes, 29 years. That's enough.
Yes. The second thing I want to talk about is that 6 years ago, we went to Ghana and borrowed motorbikes from them. Okay, fine. 6 years after, come on, man, Liberia, man, this is disgraceful. 6 years after, if you know that motorbikes are important and you want to make your president presidential, put it in your budget and buy it and train people. Are you going immediately? Are you telling me the next 6 years you're going to go back to Ghana again and borrow motorbikes? What kind of country are we running, man? If motorbikes is important for you, I think it makes it a whole program glamour. Buy motorbikes. Don't go to Ghana and borrow a motorbike and send it back and borrow the next 6 hours.
That's a symptom of a bigger problem, my brother.
Yeah, it's a sad. And the last thing I like to talk about is this waste of time in Liberia. Waste of time. They call it protocol. It's a little program. The president is even drinking a cup of tea. There will be one person who will introduce the president, and another person will say something, and another person says something, and another person says something. Before it comes to somebody to come to interview, why are you introducing the president? Why are they introducing the president? All this waste of time. And you know, you have these beautiful program, people are there, and you have 6 different persons who have to introduce something else or something. Get away from all these long things. You need to find the people can't be organized. The president can't let him talk. Yeah, all these long things about this, but no, these are things I just kind of get to me, and I just think, they should be organized, man. This is a waste of people's time. Somebody go to a program that's supposed to be for 15 minutes, and you spend 2 hours because one person has to say this one, then he passes to the next person, then that's when they pass it to the next person. Come on, man. I just get sick of this kind of thing. So yeah, but thanks for having me. I just thought I'd just need to blow out some air because these are things I think show that people are not, don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
And those are good points.
Thank you, Father Washington. That's why I thought the inauguration was some concept because they were just singing. You know, Alice, you're closing.
Miss me.
You are.
Very much for the show. One thing that really bothers me is the idea of recycling politicians on grounds that people got experience. How do you get experience for the first time if you are not given the opportunity to serve in government? Those that you call experienced people, they went for the first time. Then they got the experience, so they are called experienced people. So they can't continue to recycle people being in government for decades and continue to recycle them when other people are getting degrees, going to school, getting experiences in other capacities, and not employing them because they think other people are quote unquote experts. I think that is wrong. We expect to see new faces that are qualified and competent at the same time. They don't have to be past government officials. They are Liberians and they are educated and they have experience in other areas. Bring them in government, let them bring their experiences from other places and make the government unique. I think when we do that, we'll have a better government instead of bringing same people over and over and over. So you don't know when the government was corrupt and you bring in people, it's like you're bringing the same corrupt people and nothing's going to change. So bring some new idea, fresh faces. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaiman.
Good. Thank you very much. Let me the feedback. Somebody's okay. There you go. First of all, I want to reflect, retrospect. It was 2014. Al Jazeera was interviewing Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and the gentleman said, "Madam, you are surrounded by men, and you have survived." And she says, "Yes, they may have balls, but I play the ball." What she meant was, I can be surrounded by men, but I control these men. And for what I see today, when Gonglo said, Joseph Boakai said that the previous administration in which he served was so corrupt, but then he said he takes credit when it's good and when it's bad. He said they get in the water together. He said he come out alone, not wet. Today we see this. The same people that were corrupt, he was talking about, he's bringing them right back in. We are talking about those things that Yaka Koluba talked about, that is bringing back flashbacks. That you go to event and say, we are project. Today you are going, giving money, you say, on behalf of me and my wife, $10 million, 200 bag of rice as initial contribution. These are things he said, bringing back flashback. Fire trucks being given, taken to the president's home, in his private home, to give fire trucks. This is the
truck, fire equipment. I don't know if
fire equipment. That's the flashback that the inauguration, the blunder on the international stage. I think you are seeing all the memes and the jokes all around the world for the protocol officer with my own mentor to be sitting there, Jay Blamo Nelson to be sitting there, or the ambassador from Japan and his delegation is introduced as the Chinese delegation. Can you tell me how these people feel about that? We think that everybody from Asia look alike, that you look at the Japanese delegation and you introduce that as the Chinese delegation.
Yeah, right.
And we're talking about Mrs. Miata family or Miss Miata family. Lord, I have never seen a debacle as this terrible. How can you now come in public and say, I was a figureheaded person, I knew nothing, I had nothing to do with this, but this was an international disaster. My friend, Joseph Boakai, when you told us you were going to hit the ground running, you 42 years, you have dissected, you have done the autopsy, you have the binder, you have everything, and to come and fall flat on your face, ladies and gentlemen, this does not show anything. If the Christmas is going to be good, you know it on the eve. This eve is terrible.
Thank you, Mr. Lassa.
Yeah, Dennis, 3 things quickly. I'm not lying to you. Look, as far as I know, this thing is like a wedding. When you go to have a wedding, for example, when me and my wife are going to have our wedding, and it did seem to be going so smoothly, there was concern that, wow, in the wedding, there has to be a snack in order to know that it's going to be good, contrary to what my brother just said. That when the Christmas Eve is not good, that means you want to know. No, sometimes at the beginning, you have to have some snacks. That is human nature, especially when you had an outgoing government that was intentional on creating the kind of outcome we have. Refusing to cooperate with the incoming government, there was no law operating to govern the transition of power. We are there, he can't give the money to the people last few hours to the day before they could release the money. They took all the invitations, gave it to the assistant and deputy minister to occupy all the seats. Miata formula had to tell them to get out of their seats. And all of this, we have to forget them to imagine that Miata formula was the one who engineered what the snack turned out to be. I don't give the mayor a break. He deserves a honeymoon. Okay? Cut him some slack. Give it to him. He deserves it. 100 days. Then we can be able to measure the performance. But Dennis, look, concerning Yeke, I was just trying to say that Yeke did well. He has to learn that was under a dysfunctional regime. So his dysfunctional attitude or norm was compatible with that regime. This coming regime is unlike that. He has to redefine his approach. Other than that, he's going to be on the losing end because we don't expect, and I'm definitely sure we will not have a government that will be easy to perceive as responsible for murdering its own citizens and officials, or a government that will be so kleptocratic and international partners will be calling them rogues. So he has a difficult challenge ahead of him. Some of us who love him are worried that he might lose it. Let him declare his asset. He said he got a house he bought in Ghana. He got a house he bought in Qatar. He got a whole lot of properties. He doesn't talk about that. He boasts of going to vote for a criminal convict and a convicted felon as speaker, proudly. But he comes to insult President Boakai. He has little chance. He's going to lose it. It hurts me that he's going to lose it. I'm definitely sure he's going to lose it. Number 3, one thing you said we should live on a positive note, Dennis. I think the makeup of the government is inclusive. This was a key point stress.
What does this inclusive mean?
Inclusive, that means it defies gender and generational barriers.
Okay.
It breaks the walls of regional and ethnic boundaries. It's
I don't
also
even know which countries they're coming from or the ethnic groups. So
it's evident in the composition. Like I said, the government is well balanced. It breaks the barrier, and then also, like I was trying to tell you, also goes beyond the political partisan hurdles that we normally have here. You have different people from different parties, organizations in the government. Even Sarah, my own classmate, our president of the senior class at CW, student leader, she and I were in the class for 3 years. She's great. She was always in the top, among the top students and things. She had her own party. She refused to endorse it.
Someone is calling you out for saying that the president should be on a honeymoon at a time that you talk about rescue mission.
Yeah,
honeymoon.
Yeah, but that is a political jargon that is used.
Right, so you didn't mean that literally.
Correct. There is a concept in the political honeymoon that you have to give the mayor a break, give him his 100 days, and then we'll come back and see and be right for the be able.
Thank you, Victor. You're closing.
Yes, I feel bad for my friends here. They twisting themselves, in all kinds of pretzels, and then I respect at least Mr. Sheriff, even though he and my sister Glennie, they are at pains trying to express their frustration, being modest and out of that. Look, we are those of us who are calling this government out, we believe they deserve the tough love that we're giving them because we expect them to do better. You know, we cannot use the yardstick of the past government, whatever it is, and therefore, relative to the past government, yeah, they're doing what? No, no, no. This is a group of people who we expected to come in and begin to do different, do better from day one. And this is the source of our frustration and disappointment. Honeymoon for what? Honeymoon? You know how many people did not eat today and didn't eat since yesterday or the week day before? You think those people know what you call honeymoon? And you want this president to go on a honeymoon for what? For what?
Give him a break.
Yeah, a break for what?
Victor will make a very good press secretary. The man is so smart. He's such a spinner. The man reminds me of a Republican. I agree with him.
We are getting drowned.
Let me end, but I'm
no, now we can't give him honeymoon. Honeymoon, no. They need to get to work.
They need to get on with it already. I mean, they've been in here for 4 or 5 days. We have expectation. And you know what else? A good number of the people who are serving with this president, they represent my community, the progressive community. We are already being indicted by, all kinds of allegations, how we did this and this is an opportunity to redeem us. And they're sitting on their feet and doing nothing. They've been in office for over a week, and we should give them a break. A break on what? So they have to really figure it out, and we'll continue to call them out. I'm on my way to Moderator very soon. I will visit some of them, and I will call them out. If they can't, if they're unable and unfit or incapable, they should vacate the place and give the opportunity to other people who are ready and willing. I'm not going to sit down here and tell people, say, they just coming, you give them a break. They're trying to give them a break for what? Give them a break for what? They were clamoring for this job for 6 years. They called we are every name. Walked out there 12 years. He had all the opportunities. We're not going to give them no break. They need to get on with it already.
I think that was a gap from Jimmy because honeymoon. Even
honeymoon for what?
No, it wasn't a gap.
You might have taken the whole government take them to Dubai or wherever.
Honeymoon, they should first report on the 650,000. Mr. Sherry, you got the last word.
Yeah, so I think that I talked about the unforced errors and the urgency of the moment. These unforced errors were not necessary. So because you're leaving from a very decrepit administration to an administration that holds these promises, you need to start work. You need to have started like yesterday. So everything is aligned for this government to succeed. So the urgency of the moment should drive this government to do the things that they promised to do. You talk about roads that no cars will get stuck in the mud in 90 days. I have to see a package where yellow machines are out there. So if the president came out like yesterday and, in a major press conference and speak to the Liberian people and say, what happened the other day, here's our rollout, we're going to move on from that. Everybody will forget about what happened on Inauguration Day. And we will move on to the new agenda. But we can't move on to this agenda. Everything is this slow pace. It is very slow. And in a country, when you come from an administration run by George Weah, who ran the country on the ground, you need to pick up the pace. The pace is very, very slow right now. So 5 days in, I'm not jumping overboard. I'm just saying the driver at the steering wheel is kind of not in his lane. So you want to move the driver back in the lane to hit the direction correctly. And that's what we're doing.
Thank you. And by the way, Focus on Liberia being indicted by Patrick Wright. So focus on Liberian. You people, you agree with me that you people have deceived the Liberian people of GMBM. But gentlemen and ladies, thank you so much for tonight. I want to thank our viewers for watching. Always focus on Liberia. By the way, this Sunday at 1 p.m. Professor Wilson Tapper will be my guest, so we can talk about all that is going on at the EPA. You don't want to miss that. Yeah. And please join me. I will be here. You know, there's a reason they call me the well-rounded. And Tony, on that note, we're going to close with the song that says, "We are all Liberians." Whether you believe the Boakai government has met expectation, exceeded expectation, or fallen below expectations, we are all Liberians. What is incumbent upon all of us is to do our very best to make our country the glorious land of liberty. Have a good night and God bless you.
We are Liberians.